Hello guys, my name is Alex Gomez and welcome to my channel. On today's video I want to give you a sneak peek of creating a stylized female Zbrush tutorial that I've been working on recently. You can find this tutorial in my Gumroad store and I leave the link in the description below. If you're new to this channel and like to learn more about 3D art, please like, share, comment and subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so you can be notified every time I post a video. So let's get to it. So I always start with a Dynamesh sphere and I start shaping up the head. Like there's different workflows that you can follow, but this is the one that I use the most when I'm trying to block out the head of a female character. I just use the move tool. I know like a Dynamesh or Polygon. They kind of coded one side and coded the other side, but you know you can find any different artists with different workflows and you definitely just stick with whatever it works the best for you. So for the head, I create the shape, the inverse egg shape that I always talked before, and then I create the landmarks of the face. For example, the ear and where the ear is gonna connect to the eyes and the upper ear, and the lower end of the ear where it's gonna connect to the nose. So I think having those landmarks are very important when you're creating the blockout of your characters, because your character is gonna have way better proportions if you don't have those ones. So for the eyes, I just kind of create a paint sphere. I duplicate it to make the eyelids. I scale it up, I cut it in half, I remesh it, and then after I remesh it, I duplicate it and I rotate it the inverse way so I can do the lower eyelid. It's pretty much the workflow. I mask one and I polypaint, I polygroup and then I polygroup the other one so I can manipulate it better. Then I move with the body, and with the body just like a really simple blockout because this is just a bust, it's not a full character. So I find that just try to create a very simple shapes. For the mouth, I create the M shape and start giving a little bit of the volume of the mouth, and definitely using the damp standard tool and sometimes the standard brush just to give that little bit of a shape, not shape but outline of it. Then I mask the upper lip, and in the lower lip I started adding some volume to it. So I use the clay build-up and then I smooth it out, and as you can see I just go like a half and half. Then I paint another sphere, and for the head I just use the bend curve. So when the bend curve, I just make sure that I'm in the right axis. So I change it to my right axis and I add resolution to my curve. And after adding resolution, I can manipulate my curve way easier. And I can have a shape very simple in no time. And always make sure that you can manipulate every single dot that you can. You can twist it, you can scale it, and you can move it and inflate it per se. For the eyebrows, I use always the same technique that I always mention in my other videos. I just mask, make sure that my mask is nice and clean. I smooth it out a little bit, and after the smooth out, I remesh, and I do a nice smooth, so they get a nice and smooth eyebrows. And I do the same process with my eyelashes as well. It's the same process. I mask and I extract that part. I tweak a little bit more of the eyebrows, and if you guys see my videos, I always tweaking. I'm not I finished the mouth is all done. No, I always keep tweaking and tweaking and tweaking until I get the better the results that I desire, or the results that I want. So I like to add the Lacrimals. I think for Stylized and adding a little bit kind of those Lacrimals, I think is in English. It gives a nice touch to your character. So I just append a sphere. If you see me adding stuff, most of this time it becomes with the sphere. Then I work on the hair in that type, in that part of the hair. I use the clay buildup, and I just start kind of like giving that that shape that it has in the reference. So this is mostly like going from photo reference to 2D, but you can see that it's going to get like an stylized version. Then because I always keep the head separate and the body separate, I move it and kind of like pose it, and after I pose it, I merge it and Dynamesh, and I can just combine them together. Then after that is done, I start doing some poly paint and some color, like some color red for the cheeks and a little bit of the nose, a little bit of dark tones on top of the eyelids, and obviously like the mouth. Then I created like a head out of a spiral kind of thing, and I duplicated and I move it around and I deform it a little bit with some of the move brush and the transpose tool as well. So I just duplicating, and something that you have to take in consideration when you're creating hair. Here it takes a little bit of time to kind of like understand how the workflow, or not the workflow, the flow of the hair goes. So it took me a while to start grasping like the concept of it. So all this process is gonna be commented, and it's gonna be like in the tutorial, like you're gonna see it. So if you guys want to buy it, like feel free to do so. Like it will help me a lot to keep creating more content for you guys. And yeah, for these strands, I have I'm gonna leave a link with my tutorial where you and in the description where I found those strands, and I found them in Gumroad as well. I don't know if they're paid or not, they're free. I have to check that out first. But yeah, I kept working in adding some more details and adding some more strands and move them around and try to get like a better shapes and flow. Kind of like when I do a strand like that, I make sure that I always go with the flow of my base hair. I try to as well like to keep you know, like moving stuff around, and still like I almost finished, I still move stuff that I don't think that I like, or I think that it needs improvement. Just because you finish them out doesn't mean that it's already done. So it means that sometimes if you see that there's something that doesn't look good, or you guys are not happy with, you can still change it. Okay, it doesn't matter. Like for me, it's not like this is the process. You do this, and then you finish with the next one. It's a back and forward, you know. Like the more you work on it, sometimes you see some mistakes, sometimes you see some things that need to be improved. So that's what I always look in my characters and in my work. I go back and forward all the time, just to take a break on looking at something and then not be happy with it. So I hope you guys like this video. Please like, comment, share and subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified when I post a video every Friday. Don't forget, if you want this full process video, please buy it, and link in the description below on my Gumroad store. So take care guys, and see you, and have an amazing weekend. Take care guys, bye.